Mid-caps are a bit quiet today, and so is Symphony, but it's had a stunning run over the last few sessions. Achal Bakeri, CMD of Symphony, joins us right now on the show to talk about how business is shaping up for the company. Mr. Bakeri, good having you. Thanks for joining in. Your stock has been on the fund manager's radar of late. What in the company's fundamentals is suddenly looking very attractive? You've been the leader in the branded cooler segment and it's growing at a healthy pace. You have zero debt coupled with strong ratios. How are things looking like for you as a company?
I think we have been growing at a significant CAGR in the last few years, at a 43% CAGR in the last few years, and we expect to continue our growth in the coming future. And I think the market is recognizing the potential of the industry and of the company. The industry is growing, and within the industry there is a big shift happening from the unorganized sector to the organized sector, and Symphony, being the market leader, is going to be the biggest beneficiary of that shift. So I believe the market is understanding that. Moreover, of course, our foray into the industrial and the commercial cooling space, where also the opportunity is immense. I think the market also recognizes that. And apart from that, our third growth driver being international sales, where too, we have made a very good beginning, but there is still a long ways to go. The potential is immense. So I think it's a combination of all these things that the market has probably finally understood. In fact, personally, I think we are still undervalued looking at where we can go.
Okay, but how big can the industrial segment grow for you? I mean, do you expect that the numbers could be in the range of about 35 to 40% going forward?
It would lead to that. It would help in doing that. Although at the moment the base is quite small for the company, bulk of the sales is still going to come from the sort of the residential cooling segment. But as the word spreads out and as the company educates customers, in the medium to long term, it will be the industrial cooling which will drive growth. In the short term, it will still remain, the residential coolers which will drive growth, but in the medium to long term, it will be industrial and our international sales.
Okay, so how big would the international sales be? How do you see the export market for you over the next 2-3 years?
Exports is still, I would say, we've been exporting for the last few years. We have been exporting to something like 60 different countries. In terms of units, our exports constitute about, let's say, about a fifth of our total sales. In terms of, it has the potential to be as much, if not more, than our domestic sales. So it could constitute more than 50% of our domestic sales. The potential is out there. We have seeded many markets across the world, markets which have got enormous potential, where there are either local players or there are imports from China. And our team has gone out and seeded those. We in fact have built an international sales team. We have our own offices in countries like Russia or Brazil or Egypt or other countries in Africa and Middle East. But that's again a continuous process. The potential is so much out there. You build the team, you develop the market, you send your product, and it goes on. So as I said, in the medium to long term, exports international sales could be bigger than our domestic sales.
Then how do you see the margin picture playing out? Some suggest that there's going to be sharp margin expansion of 200 basis points, perhaps even more than that. Is that possible?
I mean, our margins, with increasing volumes, our margins at the net level should certainly improve, because our overheads or our advertising costs will not, rise in the same proportion. So our margins should certainly improve as volumes increase.
Right. And analysts expect almost 40% CAGR during FY13 to 16, led by volume growth and higher realizations in the domestic markets. Do you think that these numbers are achievable?
As I said, we have been growing at a CAGR of about 40% in the last few years, and I expect that the company should be able to maintain that going forward. There might be a year or two, where the growth may not be as well, but if you look at a long-term trend, over the next few years, we should be able to maintain our rate of growth. Whether it's exactly as per the analyst expectations or not, only time can tell.
Okay, Mr. Bakeri, we'll leave it at that. Thanks so much for taking the time out and being with us. That's a stock that's done reasonably well, and the management confident of a good show over the next couple of years at least. Take a break, come back with the top trading ideas at this hour on Hot Stock.